Hey guys, it's Jimmy from over at Movie Death Blows, just checking in with everybody. I know I haven't posted a review in a couple weeks. I've just been busy with work and family stuff going on, but let's just jump right in here. This past week, I had to make an executive decision. There were two screenings on the same day, about an hour and a half after the first one. Would I see the final James Bond, no Daniel Craig movie, No Time to Die, or the sequel to Venom, Venom Let There Be Carnage? Well, I had to make that decision. I decided to go with the final Daniel Craig James Bond movie, No Time to Die, and I was not disappointed, and I believe I made the correct decision with seeing it. So Daniel Craig has played James Bond for 5 movies now. Casino Royale, incredible. Quantum of Solace, no idea what the movie was even about. Skyfall, awesome. Home Alone, nonsense going on there. Spectre, I know other people weren't really fans of Spectre. I thought it had a lot of good things to add to the series, but it was also kind of stupid at the same time. Like Christoph Waltz was totally wasted in his role as Blofeld. Like he wasn't menacing or anything like that, but he was great in it. And I mean, Dave Bautista was probably one of the best henchmen we've seen in the Daniel Craig series of Bond movies. Like he's not Jaws or Odd Job or anything like that, but like you remember Batista just like murdered those dudes in that movie, Inspector. And then we finally come to the last one, No Time to Die. So Daniel Craig's series of Bond movies have been much different than previous installments of the franchise. Like it might have happened. Like I said, I'm not an expert on the older James Bond films. Like I've seen them all, but I don't remember them all taking place one after the other with the same assortment of characters and actors at that point. Like I don't like Goldeneye doesn't no Tomorrow Never Dies doesn't pick up right after Goldeneye, or the For Your Eyes Only doesn't pick up right after Moonraker. They're different stories, and they're kind of like they're not woven in together. Like this is like could be like a TV series almost. This version of James Bond, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just saying it's something that hasn't been done with the character before. Like 5 movies, all pretty much with the same story, same villains, and like one after the other. But No Time to Die was awesome. Let's not sugarcoat it, or let's not sugarcoat it or anything like that. Every movie's gonna have its problem, especially like this with predictability, and that could never happen. But this is James Bond; nobody cares about that. So Daniel Craig was incredible in this film. It's probably the emotional feeling and emotional looking Bond film we've ever seen before. Probably since For Your Eyes Only. That's one of my favorite ones. That was Roger Moore back in the day. But like, you feel for Bond in this one? Like he's humanized to a level that he hasn't been before. Like in the previous installments, he's just super spy James Bond. He's suave. He's got gadgets. He kills people and he saves the world. This kind of makes him James Bond the spy. Still, I mean, he's retired in this movie, but he's also about James Bond the man at that point. It's like his lasting legacy, what he's left on the world. And we haven't seen that before in a previous Bond film. So, like I said, James Bond's retired when this movie comes out. He's, he hasn't been in the service in 5 years. We'll go over that. Lashawna Lynch, who you might remember from Captain Marvel, she played Monica Rambeau. She takes over as 007. She has his code name in this movie. And she's probably one of the best additions to the entire cast and the entire series. She was amazing for the amount of screen time that she had. You're like, I want to see Lashawna Lynch back in some way or form. If they can figure out how to weave her in, but I don't want them to sell her short or just make it like, oh, she's going to show up and just help people all the time. But she was awesome. She was one of the best new additions in these 5 films that we've seen. She played Agent, yeah, like I said, 007. Her name was Nomi. You never really figured out her last name or anything like that. Also, Anna de Armas shows up in this movie. She doesn't have as big as a role as you would think of someone of her caliber. It's more of just like she's someone in the CIA that Felix knows it's going to meet James in Cuba, and they have a great scene together, like a pretty badass scene. But she's not really that convincing as a spy. It's kind of like uncoordinated and a mess, but I mean, it's Anna de Armas, so you have to see it anyway because she's great in everything. Definitely should have been nominated and won an Oscar for Knives Out, but that's here nor there. But I'm just saying. She should have been used more. I would have liked to see more of her. We have a list of returning characters. Ben Wenshaw returns as Q. I can't even pronounce the lady that plays Madeline Swan's last name, Leah Sadu. I'll do it as much justice as I can. She came back from Spectre. She played Mr. White's daughter. Naomi Harris returns as Moneypenny. Ray Fiennes returns as M. Christoph Waltz does. We've seen it in the previews. It's not a spoiler. He does return as Blofeld. I think that's all for the returning ones. Oh, Rory Kinnear comes back as Bill Tanner. He was in all the. He was M's assistant pretty much, and he was. If you didn't know, Rory, he's from Penny Dreadful. He played the Frankenstein's monster in that one. And Jeffrey Wright's back as Felix Leiter. We haven't seen him since Quantum of Solace. He wasn't in Skyfall or Spectre, and Jeffrey Wright's incredible in anything. Like if you're not watching What If on Disney Plus, he's the voice of the Watcher. He's going to be Commissioner Gordon in the Batman films that are coming out. He should have won an Oscar for Syriana, but let's not get into that now. So does it live up to the hype? Is this the curtain call that Daniel Craig has been waiting for? Because we know he kind of hates making these movies, but it's like a love-hate relationship at the same time. But it is, and it's like I said, it's one of the best acting performances Craig has ever given. It's one of the best acting performances we've ever seen in a Bond film. This is just me talking. I haven't read many other reviews on the matter, but I believe this is worthy of an Academy Award nomination for Daniel Craig. He's not going to win. We all know the Academy doesn't value films like this. They want cheap, small art house productions or things nobody sees. This is a giant blockbuster that everyone's going to see. But I mean, they have to start rewarding that at some point because Daniel Craig did incredible work here, and that can't be ignored. He should 100% get a nomination for this movie. But like I said, I doubt that it's going to happen. There'll be 7 other movies you've never heard of that are going to come out that he's going to be nominated for. But he was incredible as Bond. I appreciate his 5-film run. Maybe if he doesn't, but I mean, he pretty much brought back what we were looking for. I mean, he wasn't like this. I mean, he had the other characteristics that Connery and Moore. I didn't really see on Her Majesty's Secret Service, Don't Judge Me, Pierce Brosnan, and Timothy Dalton. He was blonde. He was a blonde Bond, and people didn't like that when it happened. But I think he's grown on people over the last 16 years because he's played the character since 2005, right? That's when Casino Royale, 2006, since Casino Royale came out. So yeah, almost 15 years he's been the character. And he hasn't always been the Bond that they wanted. Like I said, he's more of a badass Bond, gonna mess some people's day up and break some faces from like the Liam Neeson School of Taken at that point. This is the longest, actually, year-wise, I think interval-wise in my lifetime that we've seen a Bond movie come out. So, I mean, I was born in 86. There was a 6-year break between License to Kill and GoldenEye when they were battling for the rights, and then they couldn't get Pierce Brosnan because he was in Remington Steele. But yeah, I mean, 6 years. I couldn't believe when I looked out. It's been 6 years since Spectre came out. I feel like I just saw it like a couple of years ago, but it's been 6. We all know with COVID it had been delayed, so it's finally good to see it on the big screen. The opening scene is not what you'd be used to in a Bond film here because it's a flashback and you kind of wait for the reveal in the middle. But the scene that takes place after that, that's what I'll call the opening scene. Like, because like right after that scene is when you get like the Bond music intro. But the scene in Italy, they're in Matera, Italy. Bond and Madeline Swan, they're on their honeymoon because they're married and whatnot. That's not a spoiler. But he goes to visit the grave of Vesper Lynn, who's played by the amazing Eva Green in Casino Royale. And then the whole thing kind of kicks off from there. And you got a great chase scene, probably one of the best chase scenes in Bond history. I mean, the whole Quantum of Solace movie was a big chase scene. But, I mean, this was an awesome scene through, like, the cobblestone roads of Italy. And he's got the old Aston Martin. He's got machine guns in there. They show a lot of it in the trailer. You'll get a good gist of it. But it's awesome. And then we have a time break. So it goes from that in Matera, Italy, then after the song comes on, you got a 5-year break, and now we're in the story where Bond's retired. He's in Jamaica, I think, Port Antonio, Jamaica. He runs into Felix Leiter there, played by Jeffrey Wright, and the whole thing kind of takes off from there. Rami Malek, his villain is called, what's his name? It's something I can't pronounce, I'm sure, but Lucifer Safin. And there was all speculation, like, is he playing an old Bond villain? Is he playing somebody new? Is he Dr. No? I'm not going to tell you who he's playing. It's no spoilers or anything like that. It's okay. He's immensely underused. I don't really know what his plan was or what was. I mean, I know, like, it's a whole complicated thing. You have to see the movie to understand it, but I didn't really feel like he was that menacing of a villain or that he was like Bond's equal in any way. Like, he's a smart guy, and like I said, the ending is pretty controversial, and I don't know how people are going to take it. I loved it, but I just didn't feel he was used properly. Like there could have been like a badass villain role in there, and that's one thing I don't think we've seen in these movies. Like Javier Bardem was good, but he wasn't. I was never really, afraid for Bond at that point. The best villain we've had in this entire thing has been Dave Bautista Dave Bautista and Mads Mikkelsen, who played Le Chiffre in Casino Royale. Like that torture scene at the end of Casino Royale. That's a scene, man. You don't ever want that to happen to you, especially with a guy. No. But yeah, Remy Malik plays the bad guy, and he's just like your typical Bond villain at that point. He's got some convoluted plan it doesn't make sense, and they're all out for revenge. And like I said, I can't really talk more about it because I don't want to be spoilers. But let's just get into the movie overall. The fight scenes are incredible. Daniel Craig has done great stunt work. He doesn't look like he's not taking this stuff seriously as much as he's exasperated and pretty much hates playing the role at this point. He takes his job seriously, and he does a great job. Ray Fiennes, he's gotten old real quick. He looks bad in this movie. Like, I'm not saying no judgment on my part, but he's starting to look more and more like Voldemort every day. I don't know what the lasting stakes are going to be in this movie and like where they're going to take the character and how they're going to go with it, because I know everybody wants to see. Well, they want Idris Elba to be Bond, which would be a fine choice. I don't have a problem with that. They want a gay Bond, they want a woman Bond, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. It would make no sense. I think it would pretty much, not in my opinion, ruin the character, but I don't think it's what the studio is looking for because they want to make the same amount of money they're going to make, and they don't want to have any controversy when it comes to it. But this movie does end in a place we've never seen, or that I can't recall ever seeing Bond at before. And like I said, I don't know what the lasting stakes are going to be. I don't know if they're going to use any of these characters in the future and future Bond movies and just switch out Daniel Craig, but the end of this movie is intense, man, and it's something, like I said, we've never seen before, and I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if anybody knows what the plan is, but it's the most emotional Bond film we've ever seen. It might make you cry. I don't know, it didn't make me cry, but there's certain people out there who cry easier than I do, but it's the place we've never seen Bond did before. I'll put it that way. And look, I have my choices for who I want to see play the next Bond. I know Tom Hardy is like the favorite at the betting odds for it. I don't see it. I just don't see him as having the suave Bond ability. Like he's not romancing enough to be Bond, if that makes sense. He's just like an in your face, gonna break your arm kind of guy. That's what he looks like. The perfect choice. Well, I mean, there's other ones. So the perfect choice, in my opinion, would be Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill should be the next James Bond. But I know Henry has come out and said he doesn't want that. Maybe he wants to be a Bond villain at that point and just go toe-to-toe with Bond, which I'd be fine. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with Ethan Hunt in the last Mission Impossible movie, and he was good in that. But I think he's the perfect Bond, and he's pretty much already played the role. And what was that? I can't remember what the name of that movie was. Hang on. Let me look it up. It was with him and Armie Hammer, who we'll never see again. I keep wanting to say On Her Majesty's Secret Service, but that's not correct because that's a Bond movie. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He played Napoleon Solo in that, and that was pretty much, in my opinion, his tryout to be Bond. But I mean, there's plenty of actors who've never gotten to be Bond that probably should have been. Like Clive Owen should have definitely been considered to be Bond, and that's when he took the role in Shoot 'Em Up, where he had that scene with the Walter PPK, where he pretty much called it a piece of shit and threw it out. So I mean, that was his revenge on the non-Bond casting. But I believe Henry Cavill should be the next Bond, but I don't know if he will. Hugh Jackman would be a fine choice. Richard Madden would be another great choice. A lot of people are talking about Sam Hugoin from Outlander, but I don't see it. He's just not. I don't think he's Bond material in my eyes. But it could change. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Like I said, Christoph Waltz comes back. His is more like a cameo appearance, just as Blofeld. And it does get kind of crazy, and they're like kind of kooky. They go back to like the old 70s and 80s kind of Bond feel with like weird villains and what they've got going on. We get to see more Bond gadgets in this one, so I mean, Q is definitely front and center with his watch gadget, and there's a cool plane scene where they just dive out the back of a plane into the water at that point. It was like a Marvel movie almost. But I mean, overall, if you're asking me, this is probably, if I had to rate the films, it would be Casino Royale, No Time to Die, Skyfall, Spectre, Quantum of Solace. So this is, in my opinion, the second best of the Daniel Craig movies. It was a great time. It's long though; it's 2 hours and 43 minutes. So make sure you're you're ready to sit for that. But it packs a punch, man. It's no joke. If I was trying to rate this out of my 5-star system, probably 4 stars out of 5 for me for No Time to Die. I recommend everybody go see it because it's the last time you're ever going to see Daniel Craig playing this character, and he's done a fantastic job over 16 years. I wish he would keep going, but I understand how he feels. It's time to pass the torch on to another actor, like the torch was passed to him, and we'll see what the future of Bond has in store for us. So like, subscribe, hit that button, share with your friends. Let me know what you think. I've got screenings coming up going forward. I've got Halloween Kills coming up. Can't wait to see Dune. Been dying to see Dune. We just can't get a date locked down for that screening. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Remember, like, subscribe. No Time to Die. 4 stars out of 5. Go see it. Comes out in 2 weeks.